begin with prayer. I ask a special blessing again on the council and on all the decisions that have to be made for the city. And Father, I also ask a special blessing on all the young people that are here tonight that are going out into the future, that are graduating from high school and going out to colleges away from home for the first time. I just ask a special blessing on each one of those. And Father, just keep us all in your watch care every single day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Huh? No, we're going to do it separately.
Separate?
Yeah.
Two separate meetings.
Councilmember Peter,
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez,
Yes, yeah.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus,
Here.
Mayor Schultz.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Here. We'll take oral communications items on the agenda, 3 minutes per speaker with a maximum of 15 minutes.
Sue Underwood, 12424 Carlos Street. There's just a couple of things that I request of the council tonight. One thing that I've noticed is that the oral staff reports and oral council reports are done after the executive session. And I know I, for one, and a lot of people liked it when it was done before executive session so that all the council work was done before. Because about 2 weeks ago, we had a citizenship class here to see how our city government was run, and we had the shortest meeting in history. And then you went into executive session. So I don't know if it can be changed or not, but I would encourage the council to finish all the business before you go into executive session, because sometimes those sessions last a long time and the people do get tired of waiting around. Secondly, I noticed that there's a reinstatement of the Public Safety, Recreation, and an Economic Development Commission. I would encourage the council, before they make a decision on that, to please don't have them as they were in the past. And I've been on them several times, so I know how they were. It was paybacks for people who helped you get elected or whatever. At this time, I don't see a need for any of the commissions, because we are trying to curtail the money in the city, and that means another night of having the city hall open and more staff time. If it is done in the future, though, we need to really enhance it by allowing people who really have a desire to be on these commissions to be a part of them. When I was on the Safety Commission, we did some things good, but most of it was an hour and a half of things that could have been done by council. And I know it's to get more citizens involved, and that's good. But I really think if it's going to be done, we really need to look at the overall criteria of each commission. At the present time, we don't even have a recreation department, so it's kind of a moot issue for a recreation commission. But I do believe that in the future they will be necessary, but I just encourage you to really do an overhaul on them before they are reinstated. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Anyone else?
Alan Calco, 21930 Horst Avenue. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the participants and Dr. Moskowitz for the scholarship program that's going on with our youth, and I think that's very good, and I'm real happy that's going on. On your item C2, which I think is an agreement with LA County and the city for CDBG funds, I hope that you get all the necessary paperwork in by June 18th. We're talking about $313,300 a year, about $940,000 over the 3-year span, and we definitely need those monies, so please make sure that paperwork does not get hung up and you get it in by June 18th. I'm definitely in favor of the old ARCO property on Norwalk and 221st, I believe, getting cleaned up. There's a resolution to have a public hearing at the next meeting. It is a fire danger. 4th of July is coming up. I'm all for this enterprise zone that the city is, this AB Assembly Bill 1613, and hopefully it'll declare our city an enterprise zone. It'll help create jobs, assist local businesses, and attract private investments. And the press release that went out on June 3rd was very good, Mr. Lopez. Tonight you're considering stipends for, there's a whole bunch of stuff about city clerk, and before we start pointing fingers and making a lot of accusations, as far as the stipend, it was agreed to in the November 1996, it was on like a minute order, it was on the 96-97 budget, and I think Leonard Chaidez was the city administrator, and Robert Canada was the mayor at the time, so they do bear some responsibility for the salary that Mr. Ruggieri was getting. And I'm not sure, as far as item E2, that you guys have the authority to get rid of Dominic tonight, because you were supposed to do that 30 days from, I guess, back in March. You missed that opportunity, so maybe you should just leave Dominic in there. And certainly, we shouldn't just appoint some friend. We might not be able to afford it, but a special election might be in order. I'd be very worried to have Robert Canada as our city clerk. I've seen him pick up absentee ballots in the March 1995 election, and that kind of behavior is inappropriate. And I'm all for these commissions, but like Sue Underwood said, I think they need to be streamlined. That's a lot of extra paperwork for our staff. And if they really want to be on this commission, I think they should do it without a stipend, because they really love the community. And let's not make it a political circus. Let's try to get some business done. And finally, I think it's very good the pool is opening up, and that you will have some kind of admission fee for people, $5 to $17.50 cents, and over $18 $1. I think that's reasonable. And I hope that you can pull it off and get the pool open this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Anyone else?
Mayor, my name is Alvin Sonic from the Jewish War Veterans. Are you going to pass the permits for the fire?
We don't have fireworks on the agenda this week.
Well, it's due in June.
Yeah, the next council meeting in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, you're going to
Yeah,
have it.
that's one of the items. I don't know why, but it was
I was
pulled.
told it was going to be today.
Yeah. Well, I just found out what the items was. It was pulled without even saying anything.
Well, that's going to hurt if you
Yeah.
wait 2 more weeks, you're going to wait the last
Yeah.
minute. It's going to hurt the people to set up and get permits and everything.
Yeah, that's
properly.
true.
I
But
think it's
there's
a
nothing I
bad,
can do about it. But we'll take care of it in 2 weeks.
I think it's bad judgment on your part, the city part, to postpone something that they
Yeah,
have to rush.
well, we didn't. I don't know who pulled the items,
because
unless it was our city clerk.
The city clerk told me to be here to this day because they're going to have to present it, and I don't see it on the
Well,
agenda.
2 items was pulled off, and I just asked Lucy what they were, and one of them was fireworks.
Okay.
I recommend that the city clerk pull the item from the agenda because the deadline for submitting the applications was June 1st, and the preparation for the entire agenda was to be completed by no later than Friday. So there was not sufficient time between preparing and giving a fair opportunity for the applicants who applied to fully complete and comply with what the code requires to have it before the council so that they have a full and complete file for each of the applicants. So I suggested that it be pulled and to give everybody the best opportunity to have those applications reviewed by the council and approved by the council.
Okay, I'd like to make another suggestion, may I? On the permits for the electrical, for many years, it was basically a fee, in the last 3 years, a fee about $50 for a simple electrical permit. And last year, Donovan charged $198, and there was no reason for it to jump 300% when it was a normal $51, 97, 96, and 95. And it went up from there. Back in 92, it was about $43. In 96, it started going up a little bit. In 97, it went up to 51 or $50 and some change. And this past year, 98, he jumped it to 198. And I don't see that's fair to jump over 300% or more. And I would like to have the council consider that, to go back to at least $50 or $60 on that special permit for 7 days. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Here comes the big guy.
Robert Canada 216071. In reference to the city clerk, and in reference particularly to Mr. Calcoat's comments, he's a liar. I never picked up a ballot. I went to work election day, and from work I went to the union office and was with union members, including Pete Schnoffer, for the entire election day. So I'd like for him to prove his comments or to refrain from telling lies. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Anyone else?
You said 99. You said 99.
Drag them out, guys. Both of them. Okay, anyone else on things on the agenda? We'll have the things that are not on the agenda, 3 minutes per speaker, and 15 minutes full-time.
Good evening. My name is Rolf Lackner. I'm with Southland Companies, and we have a project that we like to build in the city, and I would like to give you an update of what has happened in the last 3 months since we entered into exclusive right to negotiate. I brought some plans for the city. Would you like to introduce this, Councilman? We had the pleasure of working with the City Council and also with Mr. Colombo
Makes sense.
and Mr. Lopez, and we basically have everything in place. We have the plans done, we have arranged the financing, we have a preliminary financing commitment from 2 banks, and we also have a complete marketing survey. We also have arranged for 100% financing takeout for the buyers, and our homes will consist basically of 3 different models. We have 3 plans up to 1,600 square feet. We have a 3-bedroom plan, we have a 3-bedroom in the loft, and we have a 4-bedroom plan. Also, we're going to have 3 different elevations, and all the homes will have 2.5 baths and family rooms. The plans we basically submitted to you have been tested and researched in Orange County and LA County markets, and the plans have been well received by the public. Also, the roofs are going to be tile roofs with flat tiles mixed in an S-tile. The next step would be for the council to approve the development and disposition agreement, and at that point, we would be ready to move forward and build a project that the city can be proud of. The project consists of approximately 15 homes, and it's going to be on 2 locations, on 214th Street and Hawaiian Avenue. We are trying to make the project very affordable, so it is basically for the citizens of Hawaiian Gardens. Thank you very much, and I just wanted to give you an update. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Pete Schnaufer. I'm a full-time business agent for American Federation of State County Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO. Mayor Schultz and the rest of the council, I was speaking the last time I was here, and I ran smack dab into the 3-minute limit, and I said I was going to come back and try to finish what I was saying. What we were talking about at the time was all the time that we spent in the community. And one of the things that strikes us is how excellent the school teachers are at ABC School District. And AFSCME represents the classified employees, and we think they're excellent there and some of the surrounding school districts. But it's the teachers that stand out in comparison to the neighboring school districts. And as I was going house to house assisting a couple candidates for city council, time after time after time, when we would meet young people, we would ask them what school they were going to. And time after time after time, we were told what excellent teachers they were. Sometimes I think I'm a little bit flip or cute, and I would say, well, your school's a prison, right? Trying to get them to react. And they would say no. And then they would start telling me how much they liked their classes, whether it was Whitney, whether it was Cerritos, whether it was Artesia, whether it was Ferguson. And there's a reason why the teachers at ABC School District are so excellent. It's because principals have built their staffs. It's because superintendents and board members have supported those principals. And that when good teachers come in, there's a teachers union that fights for them and attempts to get the best possible teaching conditions. And when that's ruined at an individual school or in a whole district, then the teaching staff goes down. The bad teachers stay, the good teachers leave, and the good teachers are not recruited in. We've spoken before about how many people, there are many, many people who dedicate themselves to our community. Both sides of the political fence, some of the laid-off employees, some of the employees that are currently working, etc. But you've got to remember that right now there are teachers at home or still at school giving extra preparation for what they're doing. This young woman, she was 15 years old, and I met her over in the apartments. I said, your school's a prison, right? And she said, no, I like my school. And I said, well, what class do you like? She said, American history. And I said, well, what part of, she said, world history. I said, what part of world history? She said, about the Nazis. She was studying at age 15. Her parents were from another part of the world, and she was absolutely absorbed into the hatred and against the hatred and the genocide that the Nazis represented. There goes my bell. I had two more subjects. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Pete.
Alan Calco, 21930 Horst Avenue, and I'd like to agree with Mr. Schnapper. ABC teachers are excellent. I'm very happy with the education my children are getting. I've been told that Paul Hogan will be leaving us soon, and I'd like to take a moment to thank him for all his dedication and hard work that he's given the city. He did a great job as an assistant city administrator, even though he was never given that title, a title that I always felt strongly that he deserved and fought for and wanted him to get. But unfortunately, AFSCME Union and City Hall politics never allowed him to get that title. So good luck with your future endeavors, sir. I'm sure you'll get the stability and the recognition that you deserve in your career as a public servant. Once again, Paul, good luck. You'll be missed very much. And it's been an honor working with you. I want to remind this council that you should reconsider and approve the Food for Less project on our Belshire Carson property. This area is currently an eyesore, and a reminder that our local government has a responsibility to eliminate, not encourage, urban blight. This is the best offer the city has had on the property in 12 years, and our city staff, who are experts in redevelopment projects, have recommended it. Furthermore, we are under court orders to pay our redevelopment debts, and certainly $1,150,000 plus approximately $140,000 in anticipated annual revenues would help us pay those debts. It would also help create approximately 100 good-paying jobs that maybe our residents could get. To not have a plan and to possibly allow Dr. Moskowitz to use that property as collateral for supposed monies that we owe him, I don't think are the best interests of our city, and I hope you will reconsider. Also, I'd like to know what's going on with the dental clinic. It should have been opened up by now. What's the delay? And finally, there's a myth, and actually it is a lie, that Ralph Cecina and I ruined our youth's future because we laid off recreation employees. It is totally ridiculous to claim that downsizing an oversized recreation department created a crisis in the city. The real problem was allowing Leonard Scheidez, Robert Canada, and AFSCME union boss Pete Schnapper to overhire, give raises they couldn't pay for, and allow City Hall to be held hostage by union bosses. Unfortunately, Ralph and I had the job and obligation to clean up the mess they created. And I'm proud to say that Ralph and I made law enforcement, code enforcement, an efficient public works department, and fiscal responsibility our priorities for the 2 years we were on this council. We helped support soccer, Pop Warner football, and the Little League as much as possible, and we always supported programs for our seniors. And then even in the midst of the very hard times, our city had become more stable and gained the respect of our peers from other city councils. Our future looked bright. Now the future, once again, is uncertain and unstable. We have a new majority on the council who are determined to undo everything that Ralph, Placido, Lupi, and I worked for. An uneasy atmosphere looms over City Hall. And so after 3 months on this council, I have to give you a progress report of a D in danger of failing. And if there's anything I can do to help you out, I'd like to help you out. And finally, Leonard, I got to ask once again, where's the $3 million that Ralph and I were hiding? Thank you very much.
I make a correction.
You sure can,
Alan
sir.
mentioned that Dr. Moskowitz was going to collateralize the property or something. Dr. Moskowitz didn't request to collateralize anything in the city. Dr. Moskowitz only provided to the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Gal.
John Heckerman, 12550 East Carson, space number 2. Well, sounds like somebody's campaigning very early. Number one, I would like to thank those responsible for getting that sign put up down by the mobile home park at that intersection. There's only one drawback to that sign. It's sitting over on the sidewalk, and as you approach that intersection, everybody is trying to move to the left and looking to the left to go into the one lane. That sign should be posted on the light post that's in the center median, and then they'd be sure to see it. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for that sign, because our park residents have noticed it, and it has helped some, but this evening when I was getting ready to leave to come up here, again, they were trying to block the intersection, driving through with the light green and blocking it again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Ralph Cecina, 22016 Pioneer Boulevard. No, I'm just here to thank Paul Hogan for a beautiful job, Paul. You did the work of 3 men, and I don't know how you're going to be replaced, but we're going to miss you, and good luck and Godspeed on your new job. Thank you for a job well done.
Thank you, Ralph.
Robert Canada, 21607 Juan Avenue. I hear a lot of people come up here and say bad things about Dr. Moskowitz, but anybody that has been staff in this city for the last 3 or 4 years, been city council in this city for the last 3 or 4 years, have not wavered on cashing their check, knowing that a good bit of that check came from donations from the doctor and the organization that he heads, the Moskowitz Foundation. City employees in this city that are laid off were very thankful that he was doing things for this city, and still are. I, for one, as a former city councilman, am glad to have had the opportunity to work with Dr. Moskowitz, and am happy to consider him among some of my dearest friends. He has done a lot for Hawaiian Gardens. Hawaiian Gardens should be grateful for that and not knock him. We should deal with him honestly and forthright and present the situations to him and negotiate those situations and the different things for the project or whatever else we're dealing with him. We should be honest about it. If we don't want to do it, we should tell him we don't want to do it. If we want to do it, then we should negotiate in good faith. People who are very unhappy with him need to take a look and reconsider what he has done, whether you agree with him or disagree with him politically or whatever. You should let him know that, but don't fault him for all the good deeds that he has done for this community. And there are many, many of them that had nothing to do with politics and nothing to do with anybody in this city council or in any former city council. It had to do with his beliefs in human dignity and trying to help people in this community. And I thank him.
Thank you, Bob. Anyone else? We have some presentations. First presentation is for the City of Hawaiian Gardens Scholarship Awards. Sue? And would the Dr. Moskowitz come up? And the council? This is the gentleman that's responsible for us being able to do this for the last 6 years. We could not do it without him. Sue, you want to introduce the dignitaries
Yes, I
that
would
are
like
out
to.
there? And
This is the Mayor's Walk of Achievement Awards presentation, and as our mayor said, this is the 6th annual one. And if it weren't for the Irving I. Moskowitz Foundation supporting us in this, we would not be able to give any type of monies to our graduating seniors. And tonight we have Dr. Moskowitz here, representing the foundation and himself. And his son-in-law, Yigal Hirsch, is here. We also have from the ABC School Board of Education, Miss Ceci Groom. Is she still here? Very good. Miss Dixie Krumosh. Miss Ompilia Chen. Mrs. Marilyn Rubio. From Artesia High School, we invited the principal, Miss Yvonne Contreras. From Tracy High School, Miss Pat Alviso. And the screening committee, the ones who made the decisions, was myself and Leslie McGill. Okay. And from Artesia High School, Brian Kemper. Very good. Now, if I missed anybody, you blame him, because he's behind me. Anyway, this was a very challenging thing to do, because I haven't been in high school for many, many, many years. Leslie's not too far out of high school, but she's a teacher. But to read, we had 13 people put in resumes and come for interviews. And that was the most we've ever had. And I have to thank Irving for that, because it was a very short notice, and he got out to every high school in the area. And I think our mayor signed like 120 application forms for him so that we could get him out there. So we had 13 young people come and be interviewed by us. And I said a couple weeks ago, just because there's only 13 that have put in for these awards this year, that doesn't mean there's only 13 young people in our community that are going on to college. That is only the tip of the iceberg. There are many, many young people in our city that are going to college. And we talk about our youth, our future. Well, after talking to these young people, if these young people are our youth, then our future is going to be in good hands, because they've got dreams, they've got plans, they know where they're going, and they know how they're going to get there. And we had to choose 3 to put on a plaque out on Carson Street. That didn't make those 3 the winners and everybody else losers. There was absolutely not one loser amongst the bunch. And so when I call your names, if you would come up and receive your awards, the ones that went on to the plaque outside was Jose Luis Arroyo from Artesia High School. He received an Athletic Excellence Award. And he dyed his hair, bleached his hair. I didn't recognize him.
Blonde time was fun.
Yeah. Stacy Lynn Emery from Artesia High School won the Civic Development Award, and her mother is here. She can pick her up. Okay. And Hannah Kim from Los Alamitos High School won an Academic Achievement Award. Thank you, Hannah. Leanne Neal, Artesia High School. Not here tonight? Okay. Well, if I call your name and you're here, because like I said, we had no losers. There were no losers. Chris Barbosa, Tracy High School. Deanna Chavez, Artesia High School. Beatriz Colazo, Artesia High School. Sophia Leon, Tracy High School. Yay, somebody came. Okay. Fatima Ruiz, Artesia High School. Shosita San, Artesia High School. Fatima, you want to get this? Elizabeth Sanchez, Artesia High School. Sylvia Transcoso, Artesia High School. Hilda Zapita, Artesia High School. There you go. They're all winners, every one of them. They're great kids.
And I have a couple of certificates here for Leslie McGill. And these I have one for Lukey, our executive secretary. She's at the Sheriff's Academy thing tonight.
And I would like to say one thing. Leslie, I had just met when we did this interviewing thing. Leslie is from Hawaiian Gardens, has gone up through the college and schools here. She has just signed on to the Secret Service, and she's going away for training. She's a success story, like all of these young people will be. So I'm really proud of our youth. I got chills. I'm really proud of our youth. We got some great kids, people. So when you hear people make comments about our teenagers out there, you stop and think, these are what our children are out there. This is what our youth is out there. Not the short factions. Please sit.
Did we get enough pictures?
I'm done. I'm going home. You're young. You can squat down here.
Thank you, Doctor. We have another award for the Mary Rodriguez Senior of the Year. Maria C. Rodriguez. Is she here? And Teresa Nava and Ruby Modine. Senior Citizen Advisory Board President. I'm Ruby Modine. This is Mary.
That's nice and ready.
And this, I guess this is yours too. Wow, yeah. Oh, my God.
You deserve it.
Congratulations, Mary. You've been working hard. Yes, you have. You're a star now, Mary. I love it. We need some pictures. Okay. And next, we have no public hearings and...
Mayor?
Oh, recess. We're going to recess for the refreshments. There's cookies and punch and coffee out there for everyone. Shall we go? They did. Already. Who's gonna have to, who's gonna do the whole thing?
How long are you going to use that for, Madam Mayor? How long are you?
The housing assistance program, Tony?
Yes, Mayor Council, I will ask Joe Colombo to expound on this.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, you presently have a 3-year agreement with the Community Development Block Grant, actually the Community Development Commission, whereby they provide grant funds to the City of Hawaiian Gardens to provide programs such as the Code Enforcement Program, the Housing Rehab Program, Weed Tip, and the Alternative to Gang Membership Program. This contract presently expires June 30th, 1999. CDC has notified us of another opportunity for a 3-year funding cycle, which would cover us from July 1st, year 2000 through June 30th, year 2003. Staff is recommending that you approve resolution number 58-99, approving an additional 3-year funding cycle to continue the programs at the city presently.
Move it.
Second. Roll call vote?
Councilmember Peter?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Approval of resolution 5999. Property public nuisance.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Roll call vote?
Councilmember Peter?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Resolution 6099, youth employment and the Park Bond Act monies.
Motion to approve.
Second. Roll call vote?
Councilmember Peter?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Approving resolution 6199, approving the pre-issued warrants and regular payrolls for a total of $45,643.86.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Councilmember Peter?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Under consent calendar, status report of Assembly Bill 1613, Tony?
Yes, Mayor and Council, just want to give you a status as to the enterprise zone. I appreciate the fact that somebody recognized that there was a press or a press release, and needless to say, this was submitted to the various media sources, and it was another avenue of showing that, for whatever reason, they don't publicize the good things regarding Hawaiian Gardens. This has gone from the Assembly now to the Senate, so that's very exciting, and we look forward to working with the members of the Senate pertaining to this enterprise zone.
Council action, receive and file? You need a vote?
Well, wait, you
No.
got another.
Oh, we're already done?
You got a
Okay.
presentation of minutes, yeah.
Okay, presentation of minutes of the City Council, May 22nd, regular meeting,
May 25th.
25th, what did I say?
25th file.
Okay. Everyone agree?
Yes.
Okay. Under discussion items, the city clerk,
I believe this
And-
is supposed to be an action item.
action item, appointment of new city clerk,
No, this is in regards to the compensation.
the compensation. Well,
Mayor and Council, what the action recommendation should have been is for the change to a compensation for the city clerk to be from salary to stipend. That's a recommendation.
Motion to approve the recommendation commensurate with, I think it's with council's stipend. Right?
Yeah.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Frida?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Abstain.
Councilmember Cabrera?
All abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Consideration of the appointment of new city clerk?
Mayor Council, as you requested, the city attorney office has research in regards to the term of the office for the city clerk. At this time, I'd like to call on our city attorney, John Kavanaugh.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, the City Council did direct the City Attorney to research the issue of the term of office for the City Clerk. Before you is a staff report which essentially reflects the legal research we've done with respect to the term of office. I don't want to read through it all over again. It was before you, but I'll summarize. Essentially, in 1995, the voters adopted Measure A, which established the elective office of the city clerk for a two-year term. The ballot measure did not provide for any type of amendments through legislative action, that is to the city council. Thereafter, the council adopted a resolution ratifying Measure A and establishing the term of office as an elective office for the city clerk for a two-year term. Thereafter, in 1996, the city council adopted a resolution calling for the special election and calling for the election of all municipal officers, including the office of the city clerk. And in that resolution, it said for the full term of 4 years. However, the ballot measure did not ask the voters to change the term of office of the city clerk from 2 years to 4 years. It merely asked the voters to choose a city clerk from among two candidates. In March 11, 1997, the council adopted a resolution declaring results of the March 4th general election and ratifying the city clerk for a term of office for 4 years expiring in March 2002. The issue then obviously is whether or not what is a proper term of office, and we have found that under the relevant state law sections of both the Elections Code and the Government Code, the two-year term was voted by the electorate of the City of Hawaiian Gardens. The City Council has no authority to amend the term of office without going back to the electorate to change the term of office. Therefore, it is our opinion that the city clerk's office expired on March of this year. At this time, the office of the city clerk under law is vacant. It is an appointed position, or it can be an elected position if the council chooses to call for a special election. There was a 30-day time period of which to try to attempt that. That 30 days has now passed. Therefore, the city council must act on one of the two measures, either calling for a special election or appointing the office of the city clerk, which would be appointed term during the unexpired term until 2001, at which time it would have to go out again on the general election. That's the recommendation basically is that the council take any one of the actions as recommended in the staff report, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that the council may have.
Okay, just for a point of clarification, if we appoint a city clerk, do they have to be a resident?
No, the state law provision requires that an elected position must be a resident of the city. However, there is no corresponding mandate that an appointed position, there must be a resident. In fact, the Constitution does prohibit appointed from mandating that an individual holding an office in an appointed position be a resident of the community. So for this time anyway, an appointed individual does not have to be a resident of Hawaiian Gardens.
Mayor, can I ask a question? Does that mean then that if you appoint a person to be a city councilman because it's an appointed position, they do not have to be a resident of Hawaiian Gardens? It's the same thing, it's an appointed position.
No, I think it's different.
I'd like for the attorney to answer that if I could, Mayor.
There's no provision with respect to city council members. The state law that talks about city clerks or city treasurer and city councils are two separate provisions, so I couldn't answer that question in the affirmative, sir, whether or not that requirement would apply to a city council member.
We, the residents of this city, voted for an elected city clerk, a resident of the city of Hawaiian Gardens. Now, if you want to appoint a dog that lives in Hawaiian Gardens, then do so. But I request respectfully that it be a resident of this community. I don't care who, but it needs to be a resident of Hawaiian Gardens, not anyone else. Because it's an elected position, something we, the residents, have a right to vote on. I understand we don't have the money, and I understand your position to appoint someone, but you need to appoint someone that is electable to the city of Hawaiian Gardens. Be whoever you want to be, I don't care, but it needs to be a resident of this community.
No, I don't think so, Bob.
We voted for to be elected.
No, I can appoint somebody that's not. Do I have a motion for?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint, if this is the case. I'd like to see Mr. Dominic Ruggieri continue. I know there will probably be a majority vote that say maybe not, or maybe yes. But if we're going to appoint someone, it's someone that should understand civics and should understand the descriptions and the jobs that they are to be doing as a city clerk. I'd like to see Mr. Dominic continue his term. I believe he mentioned something that probably in September he may just leave the position, and that's 6 months, 4 months away, but 5 months away actually. And at that time, for him to remain as city clerk and to appoint possibly our city administrator to continue the job, because it seems like politics get in the way here, and appointing the city administrator to a position, I don't think he'd be, as a public servant, to get involved in politics. So that's what I like to see. Mayor Schultz, continue his term, and if it's not, I would see Mr. Lopez continue with the term of city clerk. It's going to be very hard. Politics are such a, it's a situation that everything's politics here. Now, if you do this, it's because of
it's a motion.
I'd also, at this time, I'd like to direct our city attorney to do a grand jury investigation and the city as a whole. I'd like to get the corporate list to the council, because there's blaming of or putting fingers, but it seems like sometimes there's no clarity.
Is this a motion?
Yes, this is a motion.
What's going on?
The city clerk.
Can we just handle a business at hand?
We can't do that.
Okay,
I know you like to talk, Flossie, though, but I mean, let's try to stick with the agenda.
Let's, as I stated,
Is that your motion?
I want to see the city clerk continue its term. I believe it's till September that he mentioned that he may be leaving at that point, and for the city administrator to continue the term for the next remainder of the term, and for
who do you want?
I want Dominic to continue his term.
Cut it. That's your
Schultz. I understand
your motion,
you're the brain
right?
of this operation. Please let me speak. Okay, the motion is to
we've
have,
let you speak.
He's the brain, huh?
And appoint Mr. Lopez as our city.
Aye, gang. All I want to try to do is make some
Do
clarity
we
about
have
it.
another motion?
No,
Do we have a second, or?
A second or what?
I'd like to make a second, but I'd like to bring something up, if I may. Unfortunately, this is done for pure retaliation. Dominic was involved in an election, and he happened to be on the wrong side. We all got a letter from Dominic.
I thought we'd come to the meetings of the mind.
We all got a letter from Dominic that he's going to resign in September. Now, him saying this is retaliation because I have the minutes of November 12. Mr. Scheider was the city administrator, and we all knew what was going on at the time, and nobody said nothing about it until now. So, to be dumping Dominic at this time.
Is this a second or what?
Can I talk, Leonard? I didn't interrupt you, sir.
I barely got to speak.
Well, let me finish, and then you can talk.
Well, let's have a discussion then.
Well, I'm trying to finish if you let me.
I've got to have a second.
There was a motion that I believe Mr. Cabrera seconded, and now it's under discussion.
Great.
Anyway, I will second Platido's motion, and that's it.
Okay, great. Under discussion. The reason we're here in the first place is because, as far as I'm concerned, the city clerk failed to do his job properly. Let's just talk about call it what it is. I believe that the city clerk failed to do that job and to call for an election of his office. I'm sorry that happened, but I think we have a clarification and we have a mess because of it. To turn around and ask for that city clerk to continue at this point in time seems to me like a ludicrous proposal. I'm not in favor of it. I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And somebody, does some of the things that is like such as this. How can you support somebody like that? I mean, to me, it's totally nuts. Whether what minutes you have or whatever documents you have is unbelievable to me, because in Mr. Ruggieri's letter, Mr. Ruggieri actually says that his pay was part of a resolution per the government code, that he had to have his pay approved by the city council per the government code. Guess what? It never was, and he continued to take money from the city. People, here's a man who never got the approval from the council to take the pay, a man who turned around and I don't know, for whatever reason, the council that sat before turned around and let the guy have a 4-year, or let him run on past his term of office. If that's what you think is the right thing to do, then I'm sorry, I have a problem with that. I don't think it's the right thing to do, okay? I think the right thing to do is just to appoint somebody, and I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to support this motion.
Leonard, can I ask you, are you still denying that you didn't help Dominic set up his...
If you want to mention it 100 times, I'll deny it 100 times.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Well, let's have a roll call vote, see where we go.
Councilmember Pita?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll rescind my vote. No.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
No.
Mayor Schultz?
No.
Motion to appoint the city administrator to city clerk.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Pita?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
No.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Now we can have a good agenda. Let's see, what do we have next? Well, we have another hot one here, the commissions.
I can talk about that. I know that under oral communications, people have some reservations about the commissions. I'm going to tell you that I put this on the agenda because I'm a sole believer of citizen participation in civic government. I ran on a platform that would allow citizen participation in government, believe strongly in it. I believe that the Recreation Department needs a commission. The comment was made earlier that a couple of members of the past city council did not devastate the Recreation Department, but they only left 3 employees to run recreation for the whole city. If that isn't devastation, I don't know what is. I think it's time to build the Recreation Department up. I think it's time that we do something for our kids and not ignore them. A lot of kids are playing tetherball on street signs, and if that's the kind of recreation you want for our children, then I think you're gravely mistaken about the people who are sitting up here. We don't want that at all. What we want is a professional recreation program, not one that's smoke and mirrors, relying on nonprofits to try to hold it together. I think that all nonprofits do, what they do is try to enhance your program, but the city has a responsibility to provide recreation programs to the city and have the citizens have a say in it. also in public safety. I believe that it's time that the Public Safety Commission be established. I'm telling you that as my position on this particular subject is that public safety is near and dear to me. I'm solely in favor of the Sheriff's Department and what they've done in the past, and I'm sure they'll do a good job for us in the future. But I do also believe that the citizens should have a say in the kind of law enforcement they have in their community. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think most communities have this. Most communities do have commissions. I might add that there was a proposal to put an Economic Development Commission on the agenda. I'm very much in favor of that. I think that's a very positive thing. I think we need to get people to think about what happens to the businesses here. Maybe they'll have a little bit clearer picture of some of the projects that we've had before in the past and why their outcomes have a little bit less to be desired, and some of the projects we have are very positive. So we need citizen participation to do that. We need to involve our citizens. Now this situation may not be the best and right situation. I don't believe we necessarily need to pay our commissioners, but I do believe that our commissioners are eager to serve, that there are people out there eager to serve in our citizenry that want to participate and contribute to this city government. And I think that's one of the things that's to be commended, and I think we should let citizens have a chance to do that. I've been pushing the issue a little bit, and I believe strongly in it. But I'm willing to forego and wait if we need to wait. But I am in favor of trying to get citizen participation in our city government. So, but I'm willing to if some of the council aren't ready for this, fine with me. I'm ready to wait, but I really don't want to wait too long. I really want to get these commissions off the road. And as for commissions that have happened in the past, I don't know. You can probably say that commissioners were friends of so and so or whatever, but I believe that the commissioners done a pretty good job by and large, and they were all looking out for the best interests of the city. And I think we should allow some of our good citizens to participate in the government process. And so that's my position on it. And if anybody want to discuss it,
I agree with Leonard. I was a public safety commissioner for 6.5 years. The Public Safety Commission is an advisory committee to the city council. They are the eyes and ears of the city council. I was a working public safety commissioner. I was out on the streets patrolling the area, talking to people, and I think that we need the Public Safety Commission. It is a very, very important to have. And I agree with what Leonard says about Mary Corrales was a public safety commissioner. As a matter of fact, she was the one that got me involved. And I was involved with the community. I communicated with the people in the community as well as with the officers. We must have that commission and the Recreation Commission.
Yeah, I have something to say too about this. I am not ready to try to put together commissions right now. But we are going to do it. And when we do it, I would like for each council person to appoint someone, not just 3 votes getting their friends in. I want everyone to pick a person to represent them, but I want that person to be qualified. Be involved in recreation with the children or something, know something about the planning commission. Not just appoint somebody because they're your friend or something, And I don't think they should get paid. My husband sat on commissions for 13 years, not 1 penny. And he was proud to do it. We have to be proud of our city. And it takes everyone giving, not getting up here and criticizing, just to make a stand for the next election.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to say that I agree with you, and I agree with Mr. Scheides and Ms. Frida. But in in view of our situation that we have limited staff.
That's
that
right.
we would
That's why I'm
overburden
against
them.
it too right now. We
It-
can't
it-
afford it.
It takes staff time to do these things, and I think it's premature to bring this commission back. I served with your husband a lot of years
Yeah.
in the Recreation and Planning Commission for many years without pay, I might say. And I
At the
have
same
to,
time.
you know, I have to say that I think it's premature, and I oppose creating commissions at this time.
I have
Yeah,
to.
we will think about it. No, I think commissions are very important. This is just not the time to do it, Mary. Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not asking to pay anybody.
I agree with.
We just have more important things right now, and I don't want to deal with it
Well,
now.
our staff is overburdened.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's like a ghost
Yeah, but,
place when
you
you
know,
come here.
I think that, these commissions, public safety, recreation, and even economic development, you can still participate from the audience and participate with council. I'm open for suggestions, and I'm sure all of you are open for suggestions, and you have friends who understand economic development, who have been part of recreation, who want to be part of recreation. They don't have to be necessarily in a commission. They can just say, we'd like to see this, this is an idea we have, and suggest it, and then we are the voice that presents it to the council here. That can be done. I served also in public
But
safety
the power
commission.
is the council,
Yes,
not the
the
commissions.
Public Safety Commission, and sometimes I would be disappointed because nobody would show up. In the term that I was here, the people wouldn't show up. And we had a very good commission, but I agree with a lot that was said, and I also believe that right now is not the most appropriate time to
Well, the
have these
planning
commissions.
commissions are not even meeting because
Right.
there's nothing going on.
So, if we can wait on this, and also I agree with also your appointment of one per council. It's done in most of the cities. It's done, everyone appoints a person, and the selection, that's from there. So that way there's no favoritism, there's no nepotism, there's nothing
Well,
that
that's
they
the
can
way it
say.
used to be.
Right, and that's the way it should be. So I'm opposing this right now, simply because right now we don't really have the staff and the manpower to take care of that. I'm not opposing these commissions. I think that they should participate anyways and be part of us, to see and suggest to see what we can do. Whenever anyone has a problem or situation, you appointed us to make sure that we serve you, that we represent you, that we respond to you. And we get calls. I get calls. I don't know if anybody else gets. We get calls sometimes 10, 11 o'clock at night to say something. Then I come to Joe, or I come to Tony, or I come to somebody that, this is the situation out there. And I'm so fortunate to get a good response on that. I mean, Joe, today, a situation right now, serious situation where, there's a family, no water. I mean, so what do you do? I mean, it should be Public Safety Commission because that is part of public safety. And maybe if there was a commission, they could also address it, with proper departments. But it's sad to see that this family just doesn't have anything, and then the children are the ones that get hurt. So we make the calls. We have to help them because that gentleman came to us, and we addressed that. And I want to thank Joe for also helping me with that. And sometimes you don't have to be part of the commission. You can be part of a group. You can be part of a suggestion and make sure the job gets done, because that's, I think, the intention of all of us. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, just to reiterate a point about us being up here. Yeah, we're the ultimate say, okay? But I don't have such a big ego with a big E that says that I'm not willing to listen to my fellow citizens. I believe that my fellow citizens, especially if they were commissioners, would at least be able to advise us. I trust our residents. I believe our residents are the best around. And I believe very strongly that our residents know what the problems are in the city, that they're willing to work to solve those problems. And I'm more than happy to allow our citizenry to participate in city government. And I'll strive to do that. I will continue to strive to do that. I want as many people to participate in our city government as possible. We really can't turn around and say that nobody cares about city government if you don't give them an avenue to care.
Well, now what?
Madam Mayor, you need to make a motion on each one of those commissions.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, they can, well, the problem is that, why don't you make a motion for all three commissions, because I don't know if some of you may not want to.
Okay, I'll make a motion to not reinstate the Public Safety Commission, Recreation Commission, or the Economic Development Commission at this time.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Frida?
Abstain.
Is that, Madam Council Member, is that a yes or a no? You can't just abstain.
No.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes to
Yes,
not
not to, that is a yes. Yeah, yes, meaning that not right now to reinstate it.
Mayor Pro Tem Chaitis?
No.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Consideration to set a date to conduct a city budget session?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this was requested to be placed on the agenda. At this time, recommendation is for the mayor and council members to direct the city manager to hold a preliminary budget session on June the 29th at 6 p.m.
June 29th.
It's a Tuesday. What are you looking at?
I'm moving my mom.
Okay, what day do you feel? Sure.
That I got etched in my brain.
Well, right after the 4th of July holiday.
Holiday.
Is there any time we can meet sooner? The fiscal year starts the 1st, we should have a budget.
Well, no, not necessarily. No, I agree with you that we should, but in talking with staff also, I guess they brought to my attention that the last time the city had a budget was in 96, 97, and that was adopted on November 26th of 96. So we're still trying to be earlier than that, by all means.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, but
It doesn't mean that it was right.
I'm being realistic.
It was tough for me to push that thing when I did it.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying that I'm trying to approach it from realistic in regards to the
Well,
decrease.
today is the 8th. Is there any reason why we can't have it like on the 17th?
Yes, because, as you know, okay, the priority right now is to address the by right law case, and that's on the 16th.
What about the 24th?
Okay, I can't guarantee it because, I'm asking because, 29th only because I'm also considering the staff that I'm losing, or that I've lost.
I should have somebody on board by that time. Up the 24th
We could do it
at
without
6
you.
o'clock.
I can't guarantee, but I'll give it a try.
Well, I'm not the only one. We got
I
5 people.
was going to suggest if you can appoint someone else to be part of this, part of this
Oh, you're
session.
leaving too, huh?
No, if I can be of help, I'll be available, you said 24th, 20?
Yeah.
If your committee is, and I think this is something that it's really important. I think we should pay attention to because of what's going on. So yes, put the time and whatever it is.
We
I'll
need
work
this
on the
one
schedule.
because of that by right thing?
No, what I'm saying is that the high priority right now is to address all the concerns pertaining to the by right case in the 16th lawsuit.
Okay.
Mr. Schultz, Mayor Schultz, if Mr. Childs cannot be part of that, I'd like to be part of that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I would be coming before you all.
I thought it would be
It's
just
for everybody.
the commission.
Oh, no, it's
obvious.
for everybody. It's
Okay.
budget study
Well,
session for all
If
council.
you don't mind, I don't know
What
if you
he's
can trust
saying
us.
is he has enough on his plate right now because of that.
Okay.
The
I'll
16th.
give
And
it
this
a-
is past the 16th, this is the 24th, so
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe we could do it. 20.
Okay, we'll shoot
days
the
early.
plan for it, but worst case scenario, something comes up.
Okay, I thought this
At
was,
6?
Ahead of time.
That
6
would be
o'clock.
a Monday, right?
No, that's the Thursday.
I thought this was the committee for the
Oh,
finance
no.
committee.
It'd be for the whole council.
For the whole council, okay,
It's
because
Tuesday, the 29th.
has the finance
24th,
committee
it's
met
5
Tony
days.
already?
No, this has to do with the proposed budget.
But they have
No,
have
but
they
this
met
is
to
24th,
kind
what
of
day of
come
the
up
week
with?
is 24th?
This is different.
Okay.
No, we haven't met.
No, I think that should have taken place already. Okay,
Didn't say
24th at 6 p.m.
Okay, number 7, well, shall we vote on that?
Yes.
Okay. For the 24th.
Motion to set the date for June 24th at 6.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Frida?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Number 3, authorization for request to advertise for the hiring of 1 full-time bus driver.
Motion approved.
Second.
Question? This position is paid out of
Property
Yes.
South Sea.
okay, guest fund.
Restricted funds.
Thank you.
Can we vote on all these at once?
No.
No.
Okay. Do I have a first and second? Roll call vote.
Councilmember Frida?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. And number 8, authorization for request to allocate funds for the operation of the Lee Ware Pool for 1999.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Frida?
Yes.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember
Yeah.
Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Titus?
Yes.
Mayor Schultz?
Yes. Now, how do we handle this?
Adjourn the council meeting.
Okay, I'll adjourn the council meeting, and we will have the redevelopment meeting.
No, we don't have any redevelopment, do we?
Recess.
We don't
Recess,
have any redevelopment. Yeah, we'll recess to closed session.
the closed session.
Right. Madam Mayor, we're going to be recessing the closed session. We're going to be discussing 2 items. First item is conference with legal counsel regarding labor negotiations under section 54957.6, and also conference with legal counsel regarding personal matters involving grievances according to Government Code sections 54957 and 54957.6.
Okay, we'll,
Oh,
do we have to have a roll call vote and everything on redevelopment?
well, do you want to conduct the redevelopment right now before going to closed session? You have that option.
Do that, I guess.
You can do that if you'd like.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I think because this is very short, and
Okay,
the closed
then,
sessions are about the same thing.
Okay, then,
Roll call vote?
yes.
Roll call vote, redevelopment agency?
Director Frida?
Yes.
Director Alvarez?
Here. Yes.
Director Cabrera?
Here.
Vice Chair Member Titus?
Yes.
Chairmember Schultz?
Yes.
We have a quorum.
We have oral communications, things on the agenda, 3 minutes per person, 15 max. Things not,
Sue Underwood, 12424 Fowler Street. I just want to request again, please, could we have staff reports and council reports before you go into executive session, if it would be the will of the council, because we don't want to sit here till 10 o'clock at night listening, waiting for you to come back out so we can hear staff reports and council reports.
well, we can't do them both at the same time. We're trying to completely separate our meetings for legal purposes.
Yeah, but I'm talking about your council reports and staff reports, like at the end of the council meeting. You, they're after
We
the.
can?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just asking if it'd be to the benefit, it would be the benefit of the resident.
Yeah.
If you did them before you go into executive session.
Well,
is
it
what
would
I'm
be
saying.
for us too, then we don't
Yes.
have to do it.
Yes, and then we can go home. Thank you.
Okay. The attorney says we can, so. Items not on the agenda?
This is the redevelopment agency.
Yes.
Okay, Alan Calco, 21930 Horst Avenue. I'll just repeat what I said earlier. I really think that Food for Less project should be re-examined. It's a lot of revenue for the city, $1,150,000, plus about $140,000 a year. We're under a court order to pay some of our redevelopment debts. I think it's a little bit of a discussion that's going on about June 16th. I wouldn't want to see the city be in contempt of court for disobeying a court order. So if you don't, I think, it was recommended by city staff. These are experts in redevelopment. If you have another plan in mind, then let the public know. But it's not fair not to have another plan in mind and jeopardize the community. And it is urban blight. It needs to be cleaned up, so please reconsider it. A lot of work went into it, and if you can think of something better, please let the community know. I think it's in the best interest of the city to move ahead, develop our commercial properties, and pay some of our debts. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Julie Monto. I live at 215th and Hawaiian Gardens. I want to regard the street sweeping. Many times that I leave my car parked outside and I get a ticket. But last week I ran out there, but as I did, there was a car across the street that does not get tickets. And I videotaped it where the street sweeping had actually went around the car and the guy had drove by, looked, and just took off. Well, I was like, oh great, you know. So I went and I confronted him about it, and he said, he was like, oh, the street's way too busy. I can't get everyone. And I said, there's only two cars. There's mine and the person across the street. And I said, why did you skip him? And he goes, oh, well, I don't know. And I said, well, is it because he worked for the city? And he said, well, I don't know. And he walked off. And I said, okay. So I was just wondering, you know, because this happened again today. So I was just wondering why, you know, this is always happening. And I have the name of the...
Yeah, it's like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Can we
I
borrow
don't
your
know.
video?
I mean, his
Can we
name is-
have your video?
Or can we borrow it? Borrow it, make a copy?
Tony, probably you.
Actually, it's
Let's
kind
Oh, it's
It's-
with a,
You have a video camera and you pop in the tape and then you push it in the VHS.
Can you, maybe, Tony, if I may suggest, if she can come in and show it to you and Mr. Colombo, which I think Mr. Colombo is probably the person that pretty much works with that. Together, all three of you can review it and do Lopez, do a response to that. Okay.
You know what, why don't you hold on to it?
Hold on to it,
Because
bring it back.
it's a very expensive cartridge. Can you,
Yeah.
I
Because
think,
this happens today, last week, the week before that, but, you know.
can we
And-
have I mean, after this, if we can get your phone number and then we'll make an appointment
Oh,
with you?
absolutely. Yes.
what street was it on?
215th Street in Hawaiian Gardens.
215th Street.
Yeah. He works for the ABC School District. I don't want to bring him up, but I mean,
No.
it's
We're trying to
constantly
figure out who he
happening.
is.
Constantly. You know, and I filled out a parking citation administrative review request.
Right.
You know, and that's what the lady said, and then the other lady said, "Oh, take it to the board." And
If you can make copies to each of the council of that, and after reviewing, the city administrator can review it together with the supervisors or the people that handle this, I think you will get a response from them.
oh, okay.
Yeah, what was your name again?
Julie.
Julie?
Julie Monto.
Yeah, because that's not right.
How do you spell her last name?
MONTEAUX.
Yeah. M-O-N-T.
EAUX.
Oh, I think I know where you live. Okay.
I heard my mom.
We can have your form, have you filled it out?
This is a copy that it has my address and
Oh,
everything.
you've already
on it.
turned it in?
Yeah, I've already
Okay.
turned it in.
Okay, then we have your phone number and everything then.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, under resolutions, approval of resolution 9916, pre-issued warrants and regular warrants for a total of 10,017.16.
Make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Roll call vote.
Director Peters?
Yes.
Director Alvarez?
Yes.
Director Cabrera?
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Titus?
Yes, with a reservation that our redevelopment agency director tell our people in finance to do some journal entries so you know what's happening with our money. Because right now we don't have any journal entries. I can't believe we're only spending $10,000 redevelopment.
Chair Member Schultz?
Yes. The consent calendar, presentation of the minutes of the last redevelopment agency.
Move to approve if there's no corrections.
Second that.
Roll call vote.
Director Peter?
Yes.
Director Alvarez?
Yes.
Director Cabrera?
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Titus?
Yes.
Chair Member Shaw?
Yes. Shall we take oral staff reports and agency reports before we go into?
It's up to you, Madam Mayor, what you'd like to do. Would you like to take, would you like to reconvene afterwards and discuss those?
I'll make a motion.
Or do you want to do them right now?
Those oral staff reports.
Now?
Yes, I'd like to see.
Okay, all those agree?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, sure.
Okay, go for it.
Herbie? Herbie?
Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, as you are aware, last week we had our annual pet vaccination clinic. It was good turnout. We had to stay a little late because residents were coming right before 8:30 and getting online. And we're still waiting for a report from the SIACA office to find out how many dogs got vaccinated and how many dogs got registered with licenses. And on the 18th, we're going to have our second, for the second month, the food distribution for the seniors. The last time we did it last month, we had 66. So far now, we have signed up 72 seniors for the food distribution. And we are in the process to get the summer food service program going. We received a letter from the Sacramento, from the state, that we got approved yesterday, and same thing with the SYP program.
There was some message.
That's all I have.
Okay. Okay, can I recess this, go back to the oral, and the oral agency and staff reports for council meeting, and then we can go into closed session
Yes.
on both?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go back to the, I'm gonna recess the redevelopment and go back to the council
Sure.
Mayor, you want to do
meeting
oral council
for
reports?
oral staff.
No
Yeah.
oral council reports?
Well, that's what I'm doing, I'm going to do.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Recess one and go back to the council meeting for oral staff and council reports.
Thank you. Obviously, I have a report.
You got a report, huh? Okay,
Okay, I would just like to ask staff to review the fireworks electrical fee. I'd like to know if it really went up that much. And
it did a few years ago,
also, if we can
didn't it?
find out what other cities charge for the fireworks cost. That's it.
I have a report on it. This past Sunday, we had the procession from St. Peter Chanel, and I saw a gentleman that I was next to, helping out the other day at the church. It was very well attended. There was about 300 to 400 people. Is that correct? About 300 to 400 people, and see a few actually that were there Sunday. The police officers were very helpful. It was such a teamwork. I call it a teamwork effort from the people with the St. Peter Chanel to the police department and to the participants of that church to make sure that everything went well. So I thought it was an excellent session. Went to a few of the sites where some of the children lost their lives, and Father very blessed for some of that. And I wish that more people get involved in that, because every time we have a procession, it just makes it a team effort, and the churches seem to be out of politics, and that's what we need to be at once in a while to make sure we do our prayers. And also, I sometimes get confused, and it seems like pointing fingers and one direction or the other, and there seems to be a lot of confusion. I like to recommend, under report, recommend our city attorney to investigate and also to do maybe a possible grand jury investigation in the city as a whole, to understand its content, to understand the dealings, to understand the contracting, and to assure every one of us to make sure that we don't get in trouble with the courts, we don't get in trouble with developers, we don't get in trouble with ourselves, with Brown Act, with different things that we may be in trouble on. So I'd like to make that suggestion. I think that would help the city to kind of clarify and understand things a little bit better. I know it's been done in other cities, and I think that should take place to make sure that we all run from that, to make sure that we don't do something we're not supposed to be doing. If you do something, shame on you. If you do it twice, it's a real shame. If you do it the third time, there's a definite problem. What I'm saying is that sometimes we forget something, and we should make sure it doesn't get repeated. Well, it seems like you did this, you did that. Let's stop that, let's get it done, and if I could, City Attorney, if you could take it to that, I'd like to get consent maybe from the rest of the council on that.
I agree, and I'd like to find out, how do we get this on the agenda to vote on it? Do we need to do that?
Yeah, put it on the next agenda
Okay.
as an item.
I believe it's helped other cities.
If the city works, it won't get pulled.
Right, and if that's constructed, you're right. If that's, I think that would be something that would be in order.
No, but you're definitely going to see a difference in the minutes
Right,
and the agendas.
yeah, so that's, all those things would be in order to make sure that it gets done right, so we don't point fingers. I can get disappointed when you see.
Well,
what that-
everybody can
Right.
point fingers to anything. You don't have to have a reason. We've just been seeing it happen this evening.
Madam Mayor, if I could just respond to concern regarding electrical fees. I don't think there was any, I think the fees that were charged were probably correct, and now we'll bring back a report at the next council meeting. The fees are a little bit, they are high, and I think they were making reference to fees charged to 10 years ago.
Yeah, they used to be real cheap, and they went up. They've been up for a few years now.
So I will verify it though and bring it to the next council meeting.
The $200 is pretty steep, though. I agree with my colleague, Mr. Cabrera. I think that $200 is pretty steep. These are nonprofit corps trying to make a buck, so that they could provide services to our kids through these programs. I think we got to think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, John, tell us how we're going to handle this.
Well, I've already articulated the closed session items of the city council. There's not a corresponding closed session on the agenda for the agency. However, there is two items that I would assume are closed session items, and that's number 4, conference with real property negotiator, the by right case, and also conference with real property negotiating regarding property at APN, apparently parcel numbers, discussing the terms and condition of sale and development. So assuming those two are closed session items, which they are under the government code, then we would discuss those as well. So I would recommend recess to closed session for both the city and the agency.
Okay. Are we ready? Closed session?
We'll be going to the other room.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, here.